Today is Thursday, August the 7th, 2025. This is a work session of the School Board Trustees of the School City of East Chicago, and the time now is 6:15. The place is the School City of East Chicago Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street, East Chicago, Indiana. This is also being shown via live stream, www.scec.k12.in.us. This is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school's corporation's business and is not to be construed as a public community meeting. Roll call, Madam Secretary.
Trustee Gomez.
Present.
Trustee Smith.
Present.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Present.
Trustee Taylor. Madam President Gibson King.
Present. Now we'll go with the mission statement from Superintendent Dr. Bernay. Okay, all right. So now we just go to the agenda. Pre-board meeting. Dr. Bernay?
Okay. Good evening, School Board. Let's go through the agenda schedule for August 12th, 2025. If we can start with questions for the claim docket.
Yes, for the claim docket. Anybody got any questions other than myself for the claim docket? Okay. Okay, yes. The only one that I have on the claim docket is, let's see here. Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead and do yours.
I just have a few questions. I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, so we won't be here all night. Claim dockets, page 1, 88560.
This is a training that one of our block teachers went to
Okay,
in Indianapolis.
okay. Page 7. Oh, this is just a question to Dr. Bonnier. How often do we do the newsletter? It's claim, okay, 88540.
So our first year, we produced, I believe, 3 superintendent newsletters. We plan on having a schedule of more frequent newsletters for this coming year.
So we're not doing this every month, right?
It's still not every month.
Okay.
What page was that on?
7.
Okay.
Okay, and then I have page 9. Claim 88565.
Okay, maybe it's on page.
Credit card payment. Credit card payment.
Okay. And it says board superintendent.
Correct. The credit cards are only held by the Board of Trustees and the superintendent. So when I get the payment, I get it in as one.
Okay.
They don't break it down by all
Okay.
6 credit cards. It's just one payment. So when you add all of the 5 and 1 up, it comes out to this dollar amount.
Okay.
But you are going to break it down for us on the spreadsheet, Mrs. Simmons?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And then, maybe we have discussed this, but just kind of give me a little more, refresh my memory. Same page, 88761.
We're on page 9.
Yes, I'm sorry, page 9.
887.
88761.
So this is, a mailing machine that we have here in the district, that all district mail that has to go
Okay.
out through US postage, that we have. So I am looking to, this being the last year for this machine, due to the fact that we do not have to send out the mass mail for federal projects anymore. So I'm looking to eliminate this machine this year.
Okay. You said because we don't have to do,
We used to have to sell out mailing, a mass mailing, like over thousands of, whoever was affiliated with Title I, we had to send their parents a letter. So now that is a regulation that is done digitally, that I am looking to eliminate our mailing machine here in the district and just going to the post office.
okay, thank you. Let me see. Okay, this is just some information, page 10, 88739, it's all in a row, 88740, 88741. But as I went back and looked at the, invoices, yeah, it totaled for that, but no, it didn't total for that, but these three items total $750 for the back-to-school rally, right?
Yes, these are vendors that work the back-to-school rally.
Those are the vendors? Okay, and one more thing. Claim 88760. Same page.
This is the school district's float for the parade, the Mexican parade.
Are we paying for it in advance?
Yes, they required us to pay upfront.
So a float costs costs that much?
Yes,
So I think we better walk. Do we have to throw out candy too?
yes.
Oh, we need to discuss that. Okay,
Okay.
all right. I'm
Okay.
just being real. You know
Okay.
how I am. Anyway,
Yep.
we gotta do the float and throw, okay. Well, page 13, I know that's, 88202, 88203, 88204, 88205. Those are for special eds. We can't call it special eds anymore, can we? Exceptional, for exceptional learners.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I know that those were conferences and things that they had to go because of the new rules and the regulations and the name to change. Now, one more thing. Page 14, 88951.
Yes, this was this contractor's last payment. So at the end of the school year, there was a discrepancy between what she was reporting and what the district had paid. So it took over a little over 3 weeks to actually get the correct amount. So yes, this is the last payment for this contractor.
And she will not get any more contracts, right?
She has not renewed for this year.
Okay. And this is the last payment?
Right.
Yes, this is the last payment for this.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm done. Unless someone else has something.
I don't see the one sent here. I don't know. I saw it, but I don't know what page was on. But you said that this is the last time we're dealing with Centia too? The clothing people? Was it the one that you said?
Oh, this, we have only agreed to, receive towels from them into the end of our contract. End of our contract is spring of '26. So we no longer will get a bill for $200 and $300 a week. We only get a bill for maybe $50, $60 until that contract is over. Once that contract is done, we will not have them or Stair Cycle anymore.
Just for some towels, right?
Yeah, we're just paying for towels right at this point.
Yes. Now, on page 34,
Okay.
89069.
That's the same one we're talking
Yes, mileage reimbursement?
Yes, I think that, this is, part of the individual's contract,
Correct.
and I was waiting on Mr. Harris to get back with us to explain this.
So this was, I do believe attached to that, claim that I asked my office to make sure attached to the claim was the wording in the contract that stated that they were, that they could like claim their mileage for professional development that they has, traveled to outside of the district.
So, did you get the response? He said that for professional
Yes,
development?
I'm sorry, I'm not for sure, did the invoices get out? I might not have,
We don't have them.
you don't have them?
No.
Okay. Yes, it's attached to the invoices, and that's my fault because I've been
we
busy
just-
this week. I will send you the invoices, and the invoice has, the claim has the actual contract wording attached to it.
Okay,
And that was claimed, what,
yeah, this is
89061?
89069, because,
69.
yeah, well,
So it has the contract attached, so. And
It's in Seville.
okay. That's all that I had for right now. Anybody else?
Oh, nah.
You see it?
It's in Seville.
I guess,
Yeah, trustee Rodriguez.
I guess I can, I mean, since we know who it's, so I can ask Dr. Bornay, right? And based on this mileage reimbursement, it seems like, I mean, was this like for the whole month, or, 'cause it doesn't sound like it's.
That was
going
for the
to a
whole
conference.
year.
Oh, for the whole year?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
So this is yearly?
Yes. So
Okay.
I turned in my reimbursement claim for mileage at the end of the school year.
Oh, okay, this is yearly.
Okay.
Madam
I
President,
think
Yes,
I think from California back, it's only like, what, 200, well, let me put it this way, about 280 miles, right, or something,
Correct,
give or take. 140 apiece, oh, about 300.
There were a lot of trips to Indianapolis last year.
Trying to tell you.
Gotcha.
Trustee Gomez, you had something?
two items. One is on page 34.
Yeah, 34, mm-hmm.
It's 89061,
Right.
in the middle of the page. It's a legal agreement.
yes, this was, a lawsuit that Attorney Harris has settled.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
oh, yeah, we remember that one,
Okay.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The other one's on 37. 89027,
On page 37?
yes.
This was T-shirts for the summer reading program at the library.
Yeah, what's the number? 890 what?
27.
27. I don't see no 89027. Yeah, 89072. Is it 72?
27.
Okay, 27. Back to school rally, right? No, this is
No.
back to school rally.
They have a total breakdown in their
What page did you
invoice.
say it was on? 35?
37.
37,
Okay, I'm looking at the wrong page.
claim number 89027, correct?
Yes.
Let me see.
Trustee Gomez, can I interact on that one too? Asking a
Yes.
question?
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So this,
This shouldn't
so it says East Chicago Library, but I'm assuming it's our libraries, right?
Yeah,
The
those
summer
are-
program, is that a East Chicago Public Library?
It was the reading program that Dr. Bernay had with the library this
Okay.
summer.
Just the one, is it one school or several schools? How
It was-
did that-
Oh,
It was all the schools, the
Oh, all
district.
the sch-
all
okay,
schools just-
all right, thank you.
Did we ever do an MOU with them?
I don't think so.
That's something someone need to check out. I'm not complaining, yeah, I am, but we need to make sure that that MOU is with,
Well, we supposed to have been having a collaboration with the library. That's what we were supposed to be having, okay? But anybody else got any more questions?
I do have just.
Go ahead, trustee
I'm
Gomez.
sorry, I do have two more. They're both somewhat related. The NIPSCO payments and the ones to the water department.
What page you on?
Sorry, it's pages 6 and 7.
Yep.
NIPSCO.
Well,
And I can't find the water department ones, but
Water
anyway,
department was real close to that, because I also seen the water department.
Okay.
Trustee Gomez.
yeah, I know, yeah. I just can't seem to find it right now. Can you explain there's a number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, there's more than 8 line items here. 15 of them, actually. Why is it broken down that way?
We have different meters in different schools. So this
Oh,
building
so you
here
have-
alone, I do believe have 3 meters.
Okay,
Central has several meters. So yeah, there is, might be 2 meters. I don't think I have one school that actually have 1 meter. So you're gonna get your NIPSCO and then you're gonna get your gas,
Cool.
right?
yeah. And then what about the water department?
Water department, same thing.
Same thing, okay. Thank you.
Ms. Simmons, you said you're gonna have NIPSCO come back? Because I thought they had changed, that's just me, I don't know. But I thought that, that they had changed everybody over to 1 meter, not every school instead of 3 or 4 different meters. Maybe that was just my business, they did that too.
No, I have not even got approached by NIPSCO to do anything, with our meters. I know that Dr. Bernay had a meeting that, with all the school districts had a meeting with NIPSCO.
Okay.
And for the tax hike that we're getting, in our bills. And actually, just looking at this bill, I can see it, approximately about 30,000 more than what I've been paying a month. So when I get back, now that I'm back, I can evaluate where we increased that and what school we increased the most in. Yeah. Yes.
Tremendously.
Yeah.
All right. That part, anything else?
Oh, no, trustee Rodriguez, you got anything to say?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, all right.
And I did forward the invoices over to Tykea and Miss Diane. That matches the claim docket.
I do want to offer apologies for the miscommunication we had with our Department of Exceptional Learners. They had prepared a presentation to do an overview for the plan for the 25-26 school year. We will have to reschedule that overview. And then we'll continue with the other agenda items. These are all items for new business. Item 6.01 starts a list of contract renewals. The first one is TRIO. TRIO is one of our partners with Purdue in terms of helping, specifically educational talent search, specifically helping those students who are first-generation college students be successful during the school year, providing a number of opportunities working with our middle schoolers as well as our high schoolers for college. Any questions regarding contract renewal for 6.01?
I did have one question. 6.05.
So no questions for 6.01? You have any questions for TRIO?
Yeah, we're on 6.01, trustee Smith. We haven't gotten to 5 yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
My bionic glasses not working.
All righty.
No, that's all right, I'll vote for you.
6.02, we can go to that one if there are no questions for TRIO.
No.
6.02 is the renewal with Purdue University. This is for them to offer dual credit to our students. This is for the 25-26 school year. Questions regarding the dual credit memorandum of understanding?
And that's goal number what?
6 points, you had a question about 6.02?
No, I was just saying goal
Oh,
number
we're,
one.
we're ready to go to 6.03.
Okay.
These next renewals have to do with our parent cafe partners. Dr. Yanner is available to answer any questions regarding 6.03, which is the Indiana Parenting Institute. Questions for Indiana Parenting Institute?
Would that be the same as the parent university, or those two different entities?
Now, can you explain that to us, Leslie, please?
There's two different entities? Okay.
She's gonna tell us.
This one's pretty cool.
So what the Indiana Parenting Institute does is it provides workshops for parents. So for McKinney-Vento parents, other workshops that probably Miss Sylvia Alvarez may want to give, because her and, I don't know if you all were aware of this, but her and Ms. Daniels work together in the Parent Cafe. So they come in and they do workshops. They have this big workshop too at Avalon once a year out in Maryville where they invite volunteers and different people. So that's basically what they are. If you look at it, you can look at it from this standpoint. A PTA, you know, Parent Teacher Association, it's sort of like that for the state,
Okay.
and they give workshops.
But this should this been part of Parent University?
It's part of the Parent Cafe.
Parent
The thing that
Cafe?
Ms. Daniels have,
Yes,
Rita
okay, what
Daniels,
she has,
mm-hmm,
okay.
and her, Ms. Alvarez work together. And this company sometimes come up and they give workshops. And they also give them other information that they need. Informed parenting, co-parenting, family relationships, healthy kids are some of the topics that they cover when they do workshops.
Thank you.
Madam President.
Yes, trustee,
Um,
Gomez.
In Exhibit A, there's, if I'm reading this correctly, there's two options. One is on-site in Gary, and the other one is optional fee-based parent cafe at the Kerry Gosh Early Learning Center.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Which option do we plan on utilizing?
I think both options, I can get back to you, but I think both options are available to families. Like, what if I don't feel comfortable coming to Kerry Gosh, everyone knowing my personal business? But I can get back to you with a definite answer on
And
that.
is there, where it says fee-based, I'm assuming that's a fee to the district?
There's no fee to us. If there's a fee, it's to the parents if there's something that they want them probably to participate in. And as I mentioned before, they have like a big, I know 2 years ago, they had a big, I want to say workshop or conference at Avalon, and we had to pay for that when I was with a different district. I know we had to pay for our seats at that banquet. And they had, the guest speaker was, if you all are familiar with Common, he's a rapper. His mom was the speaker, so they have guest speakers that come in.
Yeah, if you could find out a little more, give us some information on the second one, which is the optional fee-based family life skill training.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really identify a cost here or who would pay that cost.
Trustee Gomez, if I could clarify just a little bit on that. Further up in the agreement, which is a standard provision, I think, in most of these, on page 4, section 11, I mean, I think we can still get more information, but that paragraph
I see.
basically says any cost incurred.
Okay,
At no time is any cost attributable to SCEC.
It's to the family.
So it's
right.
things that they
It's not to
do,
us.
and then if the family has Medicare or Medicaid that'll cover it, I think they'll bill that. But I think most of these providers have like a sliding scale, even if the family doesn't have Medicaid
Okay.
or Medicare, they'll work it out one way or another. But the costs don't, generally speaking, if they come to School City, they're specifically itemized somewhere.
Okay. That is
Yes,
helpful.
yeah.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay, if there are no other questions for the Indiana Parenting Institute, we have another contract renewal for Project Rebuild. Questions regarding Project Rebuild?
Where is it? Are you going to explain?
Dr. Yanders, Project Rebuild?
I didn't want it. Ms. Yanders, you should just stay up there for just a minute.
Okay, so I will have to get you more information on Project Rebuild. That's one of the organizations that I'm not quite familiar with.
I can respond. So that is one of the truancy prevention programs.
Truancy.
Dr. Bernay, I don't see that packet in our, at least not in my
You don't-
binder.
Our apologies, you don't have the Project Rebuild MOU?
And, do you have it? I don't see it.
I got Geminis
We'll
and,
make sure you get that one. Does everyone
because
else
we
have
should have, this should come before Geminis. You got it, Joel?
Yeah, it's on our, it's on our,
Should have it if nobody else got
our website, but it may not be on the hard copy.
I can
it. Yeah,
pull it
that's
up.
it.
Oh, I apologize. I do see it
See
now.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, he found it. So you saying you got to get some more information on this one, Ms. Yanders?
Yes, ma'am.
Um,
We're fortunate to have many, many organizations that want to partner with us in that Parent Cafe, but that's one that,
So this is one of our community partner agencies that work with students who we've identified as truant. They work with them to see what is the cause of their truancy. Is it homelessness? Are they McKinney-Vento student? Do they have other challenges that are preventing them from coming to school? So it's another partner that does interventions.
So now, do they see these kids at school, or how do they visit with these children?
that's why we'll have to get more
I mean,
information
in
from
any
you.
of these MOUs, how do they see these kids, these students, shall I say?
I think, because Parent Cafe is geared towards the parents. So I think the conferences take place with the parents of kids that are truant to find out what's the cause, as Dr. Bernay has mentioned. That would make sense. Because Parent Cafe, they're meeting with the parents. And then it's up to the parent to bring the child in.
So Parent Cafe is set up at Kerry Gosh so that the vendors or resources can be present at Kerry Gosh,
Yep.
or they also can go to the home.
Yep.
We would just have to get more information regarding this Project Rebuild. Do they go to the home? Since obviously they have truancy issues, they go do home visits. But we'll confirm that.
And I think we did mention Title, that comes out of Title IV, right?
The McKinney
That's something
Vento
different.
fund,
McKinney-Vento?
Well, it is it's title.
Are you talking about the truancy officers that come
No,
out of
we-
Title IV?
No, I'm just,
Truancy officers are
yeah.
funded through title.
Yeah, they come out of Title IV.
This is a
yeah,
different,
Title IV, the truancy comes out of Title IV.
The officers that work for us.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
ma'am.
So our truant officers are not working with these people? They ain't doing this as separate, huh? They should be.
that's a good question.
Yeah, they should be working with them, because
Yeah.
they need to know who, but we're gonna discuss that one on a later date with the truant officers. Mhm.
Well, Ms. Yanders, we'll get back with you. We have a whole lot of questions about that, and,
Okay.
not trying to put you on the spot, but we
Oh,
just,
as do I now,
yeah, so if it's a new program, we just need to be updated and informed on what, when, where, and how,
Absolutely.
so we can promote it, And now that I know that the federal government did release Title IV last week. Hopefully, if he didn't change his mind. But anyway, we know Title IV covers that, the truancy officer.
There you go. Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Should I stay here? Is there another one?
Okay. And now, if there are no questions for that one, 6.05 is the gymnast, contract renewal for gymnasts.
The who?
Gymnasts.
Which one?
That's the, I'm gonna say the generic one. That's not the
Not the two good.
suicide prevention.
Okay.
Gymnast.
So this is the one where they also, at Parent Cafe, this is Mrs. Daniels' one, because I have one too for Too Good for Drugs. So the one with Ms. Daniels works just like the other organizations in the Parent Cafe, where they become a resource for parents that need assistance.
You know what I would like, if you can do? Each person that deals with this MOU, with these communities in school, you know, like you're saying, Mrs. Daniels, I would like to have the names of the individuals that's dealing with the students, because
I
it
think
makes
she's
me,
saying.
yeah, you know, then that way we'll know that they're in school, that they're doing the program in school.
So you're talking about, you would
said,
like the
Mrs.
name
Daniels,
of
you
the,
just said this is something that she's working with.
Yes.
And the Parent Cafe.
so you would like the name of the person who's working, like from Gymnast who's working with Ms. Daniels?
Yeah, Ms.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
'cause, yeah.
Like who's her contact person?
Yeah.
For that
You know, you got
program?
Gymnast community partners, but see, Gymnast has a long arm.
They're huge.
They could be the Edgewaters Gymnast, the Gymnast people that just left here,
Mm-hmm,
you know.
You're
So,
right.
But we have somebody in our school, we know that they are in our schools.
absolutely.
That's what I would like to have.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first thing I thought about was, okay, here comes gentlemen, we babysitting again.
No, it's not
door- next door
that.
people.
No, this is a
Madam
family
President, I have a
assistance.
question.
It's a family assistance program.
Okay.
So with regards to this particular partner, have they been in our schools in the past, right? Okay, so I think, is there a way we can get sort of an update of what happened maybe in the past, or sort of a scale of how many students that they were able to serve?
I think she has that. I think she's given us a report like that before.
Okay.
Yes, and I don't believe trustee Rodriguez was at that work session when Ms. Daniels came and she gave us an overview of all the programs.
She did.
Okay.
But gymnast was one, but when we were talking about gymnasts, we did make mention that we also have gymnasts that does suicide prevention. We have gymnasts that does
Too
the.
Good for Drugs.
Too Good for Drugs.
Arthritis.
This is the parent assistance one.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. Okay.
Trustee Smith, you had a question about this agenda item earlier. Did we answer that already, 6.05? Thank you very much. All right. If there are no other questions regarding this one, we will move to 6.06, which is the MOU with United Way.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we did talk to United Way. We did have some questions about United Way. Who would be their point person? Where,
Back
okay.
again.
We just completed our first project last Friday. It was awesome. And so we're going to do a presentation. I'm going to do a presentation to you all, United Way Day of Service, Day of Giving. And they had a group of their volunteers who came to help us clean out our gym here at the administration building, as well as the old Kerry Gosh. Old furniture, organizing it to get ready for the either resale or disposal of broken items. They did a terrific job. The custodians told me to make sure I send a shout out to them because they were all women. And they said that they did a better job than most of the men in the district. So it was wonderful, and I'll share that presentation with you all. I have pictures and everything.
Madam President, I do have a question.
Yes.
Just on 3 bullet point 1, page 2.
Page 2 of the contract.
Yeah, it's in the United Way. I'm supportive of the initiative, so I'm just, out of point of curiosity. It says here, identify high school students who may benefit from participation in the Youth Build program which focuses for preparation on careers in the construction trades
Yep.
and in OSHA certification training.
Yep.
That falls under the responsibility of School City of East Chicago. Can you tell me, how does that work mechanically? You know,
So mechanically, we refer the students to their program. And then they make sure that the students could get the OSHA certification.
so they would do the training.
Yes, sir.
I see, okay, thank you.
But you're overseeing this one.
Yes, ma'am. That would be a task of me and the new CTE director.
Any other questions regarding United Way MOU? Thank you, Dr. Yanders. The next agenda items are contract renewals for our Department of Exceptional Learners. Mary Jensen is here to address any questions from the board. The first is item 6.07, which is the contract renewal for Hearing Haven.
May I just say first that I apologize, my partner is unable to be here tonight. She's got a family commitment and is on a train taking care of that with her mom. So I'm sorry that Miss Ebony's not able to be here with me tonight. So yes, I would be happy to answer any questions on those contracts.
How many students do we have that are deaf and hard of hearing?
5.
5 students.
It does fluctuate. Sometimes we have children that have multiple disabilities, and she may also service some of those because deaf and hard of hearing may be part of that, or the child may also have some other disabilities. They may have some orthopedic issues, so they may help with that child as well. So, but 5 have the actual disability and for which she serves as the teacher of record for.
Madam President,
Yes,
I don't know if
Trustee
this is standard language. Under the subcontracting, section 13, page 5, it says contractor may not subcontract any part of the work covered herein without prior written consent to the SCEC. Where would you foresee, or would you foresee an opportunity for subcontracting this work?
No, sir. That, Trustee Gomez, that is a single source provider. The
Okay.
individual is a retired teacher. She was our retired teacher, and she has graciously come back. We do not hold that license anywhere in the district. She also sometimes will also contract for other districts in the area. Having a deaf and hard of hearing license is very difficult to obtain, so it is a hard-to-obtain license, and we're grateful that she's able to come back and help us just one day a week in order to make sure that we are compliant and able to service these children.
Trustee Gomez, I would clarify too, that is a standard provision that we put in all the professional service
Kind of what I thought,
agreements.
yeah.
And the intent is to keep the providers that we're contracted with actually performing the service. I think somewhere else in this document, there is language that states that they are to personally perform all of the services. And there's several points in here where we emphasize that we want them to be the ones that are doing it.
Okay, thank you.
If there are any other questions for Hearing Haven, we will go to 6.08, which is Asset Works. Questions regarding Asset Works? Ms. Jensen, give us a brief overview of Asset Works again.
Asset Works is actually a renewal. It used to be Go Solutions. Several of our vendors have changed names. They're the company that we contract and work with that handle our Medicaid reimbursements. So we are able to request reimbursement for services for psychological evaluations, speech evaluations, and service. We're actually able to obtain reimbursement for McKinney-Vento as well as foster care transportation, the direction that we drive. We're able to seek out reimbursement for occupational therapy, physical therapy. So all of these services allow us to recoup funds from the Medicaid program. So we have to have sort of like a Medicaid billing company. We use them as a clearinghouse. The provider who provides the service, could be our speech pathologist, occupational therapist, could be our psychologist, they will actually fill out a form. We then enter it into the AssetWorks software. They then clear that through for us. Now, I would like to mention that we are looking at a more automated process ideally for next year. We've talked about that because we think there are many other things that we are not seeking reimbursement for. One of them is social work services. Another is nursing services. So those are things that we have the ability to seek Medicaid reimbursement, and we feel that if we had a more streamlined process in which the provider could simply select the child's name, pick the billing code, date of service, service performed, submit. Now, all of those, before they go to AssetWorks, are reviewed. If a psychologist provides the service or a speech pathologist provides the service, our lead psychologist is able to review those services and then submit. They have the license to do that. All other services, we do contract with an individual. I believe you've already approved his contract this year, and he then approves those other services for us because they do have to be approved by a licensed physician. So it really is a way for us to recoup money through Medicaid, and we are hoping that we can expand that so we can recoup more funds so we can bring them back and provide more services for kids. Yes, ma'am.
That's Medicaid or Medicare? Say Medicaid?
It's Medicaid reimbursement. Yeah, yes, President Gibson King. It's Medicaid reimbursement. It's the software tool that we use to do that. So you used to see it as Go Solutions, and they changed their name.
Do we have a lot of kids on Medicaid?
Every child that receives any kind of service
Yeah.
and is eligible for Medicaid, we are eligible to seek reimbursement for. The vast majority of our students in the district, Madam President, do receive Medicaid services.
Yeah, I'm just
They are
getting it
eligible.
mixed up with Medicare.
They are eligible for Medicaid services, so
I'm getting it mixed up.
Medicare is federal and Medicaid is state.
Yeah. Okay.
If there are no other questions for AssetWorks, we will go to the next one, is the contract renewal for our Donna Marchand, Ms. Stinson.
Ms. Marchand's contract is very similar to Hearing Haven. We do not have an individual within the district who holds a visually impaired license. Ms. Marchand holds that particular license, and we are required to have that. She comes to the district once a week. She services our children. She conducts the progress monitoring and collects the data. So we are required to do that. We have at this time 5 children who qualify for blind low vision, 1 at our elementary who is almost completely blind at this time, so she really helps that child with a lot of the mobility issues and things of that nature. So, and Ms. Marchand has agreed graciously to come back and help us with that for 1 more year. If I might add, Ms. Ebony and I are working within the buildings with our teachers and encouraging our younger teachers to go back to school and seek those licenses because we know we need them as a district. They are very important.
Other questions regarding Donna Marchand's contract?
That's just one question, maybe for Attorney Snow. The front page, the 3rd paragraph there, it says entered into the 12th day of August, but effective August 6th. I don't know if that's a typo or whatever, but
Yeah, it did say that. Our contract has expired.
Just a second, let me get back to.
You're talking about the effective date?
yeah.
Let me make sure I'm looking at what you're looking at. So the 12th day of August and effective, sorry. It's entered into on the 12th day of August and effective August 6th. So these are, I mean, the day that it's entered into is almost always going to be the date of the board meeting where it was approved. The effective date can be anything in the past. It depends on when the person started, sometimes when they started performing services or whenever the effective period of a particular grant is. It's not uncommon for those dates not to match. But I will say typically I don't ask questions about that unless one of you asks questions about that. I typically just assume that it's related to some kind of a funding issue or they're already performing services.
That's fine.
No, we did have those dates set because that is when all the staff returned back. And so that was the first day
It came back on the 6th of August,
on the 6th.
or effective August the 6th, the 6th.
Oh,
Which was 2 days, it was yesterday. Yeah, so 12th is when it's going to be approved on the board meeting.
but they have to
But
be,
but they've already, came for some training or something, right?
Correct.
On the 6th of August.
Thank you.
Okay, if there are no other questions regarding that contract, I believe the next one is 6.10, Jelani Educational Services.
The Jelani Educational Services is for an outside school psychologist. At this time, our lead psychologist is on maternity leave. We also have a psychologist that will be on the personnel report on the 12th as a new hire or as a returning hire. So we're hoping that that will get passed. But in the meantime, our challenge is that when the children return to school on Monday, we have several opened, signed evaluations, meaning the parent has signed permission. That means we have a ticking clock. We must finalize that evaluation within 50 school days. So if the evaluation permission was signed in May, we must complete the evaluation with the balance of school days in May, and then we start the ticker on August 11th. So without a contractual psychologist at this time, we will be unable to meet those deadlines and timelines. We also have a school psychologist that may not be returning to us. He has just told us that he might not. He's making a decision and notifying Human Resources. So we really need psychological services, evaluative services during this kind of gap. The way Mr. Snow and I were able to kind of maneuver that contract, the individual is actually, or the team is actually being paid by evaluation. So it's something where they're going to need to come in, test a child, write the report, and that's how they will get paid, rather than paying them by the hour. Because doing it this way, when we calculated the costs, it was less expensive to do it this way. And it will also, I think, encourage them to complete some of these evaluations on a timely basis.
This person has been in our school district before,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
I thought
Yes,
so.
Madam President, it is a
Yeah,
renewal.
I
They've
thought
worked
so.
with us, worked with our team, so we know them, we know that they are capable of doing this, and we're very excited to continue to work with them, with your approval, of course.
And if there are other questions regarding Jelani Educational Services, the last contract renewal will be for Epic. Ms. Jensen.
So Epic is a contractual renewal for one of our speech pathologists. We have been very fortunate in that we now have actually 3 speech pathologists on staff as employees. Thank you so much, Board of Trustees. We also have a speech and language pathology assistant. This is for the speech pathologist that manages all of the evaluations and all of the services at the preschool. We have close to 500 children in the district, 450, who receive speech or language services. So Ms. Seifert has been with us for over 4 years, and this is her renewal contract.
Any questions regarding Epic speech contract? Thank you, Ms. Jensen. Our next item is 6.12. It is the employee handbook for the 25-26 school year. Questions regarding the employee handbook?
Seeing something too. Here's additional drafts available if anyone else.
It's in the back.
Is that a whole book? A whole book that we have?
Same thing you have.
But
It's
you got
just a different
picture.
cover. Yes,
So what's the difference? The picture?
that's the picture.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Oh. Ms. Simmons, you had it? Yes.
Because you want to see, if I'm not mistaken, do we want that picture of this bird? That what you want us to see? What did you want us to see?
If you wanna change the picture, it's no problem. We will change the picture to whatever you.
We're not trying to change the picture. We just noticed that one that you have a different. So I'm asking is, you said there's some additional ones. Yes,
It's just a different
picture, right.
cover. The print guy just decided to try something
I'm,
different.
well, I'm thinking that, like, with the same thing with our.
No, it's not the same with the student.
Okay, because,
with the student.
yeah, that's where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
Do we got to
student
pick up somebody on the cover or the page now?
No, you don't need to do that.
Oh, okay.
Have a opinion about something.
No, the bird is fine.
No, we keep the bird.
The bird is all right.
The bird is a word.
Anybody else need one?
I'll take one, thank you.
And you did get the.
No, just keep the bird. We don't want nobody.
You did get
Yeah,
the,
just the bird.
When you asked us
Right.
questions, which pictures that we wanted.
You don't need
You
nobody.
got that? You got all of that? Oh, okay.
No, we agree with the bird.
Yeah.
Just keep
So
the
now-
bird.
President,
Yes, trustee Gomez.
I
On
got a
page-
question,
Yeah, what page you on?
page 33.
Page 33? Let me have that so I could better look at that, then go in here. Let me have it. Yeah, give me one, please. And I'll give it back to you. Page, what page, Mr. Gomez?
Page 33.
Page 33. Okay. This one ain't even numbered.
He did not number the ones that we just handed out. He doesn't have numbers on them because he's got to change the table of
Yeah,
contents.
that's what I'm going to book. I'd rather have, okay, 31, Jesse, right?
33.
33.
Trustee Gomez, would you mind telling me what's on the heading of that?
Sure. It covers the personal background checks and mandatory
Page
reporting of
33.
convictions and arrests.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready.
And your question is?
Okay, so I have two. Prior to you and Dr. Bournet coming, there was some language. I just want to get clarity, and maybe Attorney Snow can help with this, on, actually on page 34, the part where it starts with any costs associated, that second paragraph there. I think what this used to read was that you were required to report to the principal. But then the question came up, what if you're the principal? You're essentially reporting to yourself. So I guess maybe Attorney Snow, if you have thoughts on that paragraph there, I'd like to hear them. I'm wondering if this is sufficient, or if you feel that we could add language to this, so that there is clearly a reporting that's happening. What had happened prior years, 2, 3, 4 years ago, somebody had an incident and they didn't report that. So I guess that's the other question. What happens if somebody does not report this within 2 business days? And should it be 2 business days or 2 days?
I think that in general, the question of 2 business days versus 2 calendar days is, I think, a matter of employer's preference. I could see where reporting it within 2 calendar days could be problematic if you're charged with something on a Friday. And then you've got to track somebody down to report it to on a weekend, so the 2 business days would prevent that. As far as what happens as a consequence if you don't report, I think that would probably just blow the next section down below this with workplace guidelines, gross misconduct, the first one there says engaging in fraudulent activity. So I would contend that if you had an arrest and you concealed that and didn't report it, I would say that that's some kind of misrepresentation to the school. So I think your personnel policy is a little bit different than some that I've done in the sense that the ones that I'm more familiar with drafting typically have, and we talked about this when we were reviewing it, they typically have like a number set of rules, A1 through A50 or whatever, and the A rules are all the ones that you could be terminated immediately for. And then B1 through B50, and the B rules are the ones you could be suspended immediately for, but not terminated. And then the C rules are typically the ones that it would engage progressive discipline. So your format is a little different, but I think for something like this, you could probably cover that under gross misconduct, and I would guess that that's going to be the highest level of, it says you've adopted progressive discipline except in cases of gross misconduct, which pretty much opens the door for you to do whatever you see fit with that employee at that point. And then going back to the reporting end of it, I think it's fairly clear that you have a time frame to report and you have a specific person to report it to. If it's a question of do you report to your principal versus your superintendent, I think that my general rule of thumb is the fewer amount of cooks you can have in the kitchen, the better off you typically are with this kind of thing. So I think sending everybody to the superintendent or the superintendent's designee, as long as it's one person, is preferable. Because if you get principals involved who have to then report up the chain, you run the risk of Chinese telephone or whatever else, misrepresentation and things not getting done in a timely fashion. And doing it this way eliminates some of that.
And I think that's why we changed this a couple years ago, because it did lead to that.
If you had asked me to do that, I would have told you that's what we should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I just wanted to go back to the front end of this, the A, B, C, D, E, F portion. This is good. I'm wondering if, one of the discussions we had with Attorney Harris was to add one other letter to the alphabet here, and that is to find out whether the individual is eligible for rehire. A simple background check will generally generate a name, rank, serial number, basically salary. It will not generate whether that individual is eligible for rehire.
Are you speaking in terms of the background check itself?
Yes.
So if I can speak to that, we have had situations where, we check the files to see if the people left on good terms and their background check clears. They go through two different background checks. They have Kids Track and they also have the federal mandated background check that checks the database all over. And they can be rehired providing the supervisor that they would be reporting to has made a recommendation for them to be rehired. So they've gone through the interview process and a memo has been submitted to HR for them to be rehired. And they are only rehired if they clear those background checks.
Yeah, I'm pretty clear in that, and I think that's good. And I've got no issue with the way it's written. What I'm suggesting, though, is that supervisor, whoever they might be reporting to, would not necessarily have knowledge of whether the person was eligible for rehire at a previous district. And so I think that's what's missing in this background check.
As
I
to
agree-
whether the person is eligible for rehire at a
At the previous district, yes, or place of employment.
I could speak to that a little bit. I don't know, I guess the conversation you had was with Attorney Harris, I assume. So I don't know the full context, and I don't know that I need to know that right now. But I think one of the things that you get into, if I understand the direction correctly that you're headed, I think one of the issues in a practical sense that you run into with that is that a lot of former employers won't tell you what kind of standing that employee was in when they left. And the reason for that is a lot of employers use like a verification and just say he or she worked here from this date to this date, and this was the last rate of pay. I don't know if there's anything unique to the school context that maybe changes that for schools, but in the general employment sense, I think a lot of times employers are hesitant to comment on a past employee's performance because sometimes people get fired because of a vendetta. Sometimes people get fired on a basis of lies or fabrications that the employer can't figure out. And then if they kind of perpetuate that and keep them from getting employed somewhere else, they run the risk of being accused of slander, which doesn't necessarily go anywhere for the employee, but it's definitely a way for the employee to kind of harass the former employer with the lawsuit and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of times they keep that close to the vest. So to require us to look into it might not be as productive as you'd want it to be, and it might be a little cumbersome. I think that might be a reason why we would think about that. Now, that's not to say that there's not a good reason to add it in here. And like I said, I don't know the full conversation, but immediately when you start talking about that, that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
I understand. I see both sides of that.
Yeah.
Going back to the workplace guidelines, Dr. Johnson, I will tell you that in print, this is hard to see. It actually cuts off part of the language. This is in the copy that we were provided in our packet, the one with the bird.
So the workplace guidelines,
Yeah.
the examples of gross misconduct, are you
Yeah.
referring to those, the print is too small?
Well, no, just the language is cut off. Words are cut off,
Oh, okay,
just so you, yeah.
okay. On this,
What page, Jesse?
That's on page 34.
Where? Page
Right
34?
there.
Get
The
the-
word
Oh, okay.
activity. you
I
know,
see it.
Where at now?
would you
Yeah,
mind if I look at your
Yeah,
copy?
come on, yeah,
Because this
Oh,
one-
yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
It's the same in the one that's on board docs. It's, the tables are just misaligned, I think, the columns.
Words are cut off.
Oh, gotcha, okay. See, when they
It's on-
printed it on this one.
Got it,
Both columns.
I see.
Yep.
Yeah, I see.
So his more updated, when I say his, I'm talking about our print manager. His more updated one has them
I see.
printed out on
That
there.
should be a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, where are we at now?
In speaking to this workplace guidelines, we just wanted to list those things that you can be terminated for. If we do the A's and the B's and the C's, that would have to be probably included in one of your board policies that addresses. Would you say, counsel?
I have not looked at the specific policies of the board as they relate to causes for discipline. I think whatever the precedent is what you would want to stick to. But I think it would be a pretty large-scale change in the format of your handbook, so it's not something you would want to do, before this school year. It might be something that we think about for next year if the board's favorable to it. And then in the course of that discussion, we can look at whether or not the board has had input on the specific question of what is and is not a offense subject to termination on the first offense. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't think I've ever looked at that.
That's why I was saying it probably should be in policy. If there's gonna be a determination on termination based on these areas, then it probably needs to be listed in board policy.
Yeah, I think for a lot
The
of,
cross-reference.
I'm sorry, I think for a lot of our municipal clients, the employee handbook or the personnel policy is a policy of the board. So School City is a little bit unique in that respect because you have such a comprehensive set of board policies that are out there. And so the employee handbook is kind of, I guess, a derivative of the application of those to what the administration sees will work, at ground level. So I just, if the previous policies have historically been that hands-on as far as specifically defining a set of offenses that are subject to termination, then I wouldn't get away from that. So I think then, yes, you would want to amend board policy as well. However, if the board has, consistently always just had a policy that says the administration will draft an employee handbook that includes employee discipline and then we'll approve it, then you probably don't need to do anything with the board policy. You just need to make the change in the handbook. It's just something I've never really considered. Policy committee is, we're doing a lot lately. We can take a look at that.
And also, just in thought with that, we also would have to look at each individual CBA and how the CBAs address the discipline.
So how does, okay, this might be off the wall, okay, CBA, I understand that part. What about administration? I mean, say for instance,
They're not union.
if I'm hired to be, superintendent's secretary, and I can't fulfill my position, or I'm not really doing what I'm supposed to be doing or whatever, is that something that could be put in the handbook? Because we're not paying people to just sit there, we're paying you to be productive. So should that be something that could be, or maybe I'm out of term or whatever, but should that be something in in your employee handbook that, that's ground for termination? If you're not productive, you're wasting our money and you're wasting our time. And I see the FMLA, but I see everything else, but I think it's just, well, maybe I'm just going a little bit more in detail, but I think even,
Typically, we handle,
administration should be put in there too.
what did you say?
About something.
What was the last thing you said?
Administration.
Yes.
Administration.
Typically, it's handled pretty much the same way. We allow people to go through due process. The same due process procedures that we do with everybody else, although they're not union, we still go through a verbal, we go through a written, we go through a written with, suspension, with or without pay, depending on what the situation is. If it's something we have to investigate, then it might be a written, with pay pending investigation. And then we move forward to the, recommendation for termination. So we typically, even though people are non-union, we follow the same process.
But there should be a page in there just
For that too.
basically for administration.
Okay.
Because you see have something here that says special ed. I mean,
Okay, so you'd like us to add a page?
yeah, you
On.
have something well, I just saw something about special ed, I just saw something about that. Their criterias or whatever, yeah, no, special education.
There's language at the end relating to special education, but it's basically just kind of an overview of what they do. It's not I don't see it as a separate set of job requirements. I think that what you're getting at, Trustee Smith, is on page 17, I believe. I just was looking at it. The bottom of page 17, there is a section that reads employment at will. When you're talking about employee productivity and their abilities and willingness to do the basic function of your job, I think that's a different conversation than disciplinary rules.
You said some, excuse me, on page 17, what is up under?
Page 17, at the very bottom, it says employment at will. So what employment at will means in the legal sense is you're employed at the will of the employer, which means you can be terminated at any time for any reason. Now, I understand that there are some due process things written in. Some of those are intermingled with board policies. And there's varying ways of implementing employment at will. So a lot of times if a person is struggling at their job or not doing it well or whatever, an employer, especially for people who have been there for a while, maybe they're just going through a rough stretch or whatever, employers will work with them to some extent and give them, maybe they'll put them on a performance improvement plan, or maybe they'll, put them on a last chance agreement, or they'll give them counseling or whatever. But at the end of the day, you've got this language here that says unless you are under a collective bargaining agreement, you're employed at will. So that means that you can be terminated at any time. That provision is generally what would cover something like an employee who's not performing well enough at their job to stay employed. It's typically not a disciplinary thing. It's typically we see you're not meeting the expectations of your position, and so therefore we're going to terminate you. If your policies require a due process hearing, or if your policies require a finding of cause, then that changes the dynamic of that a little bit. I don't see that in this particular provision, but a lot of times this is what gets negotiated in a collective bargaining agreement, is they want to build in a requirement of termination for cause, right? That's the language that comes up in a union agreement. So without that, there's no requirement in state law of termination for cause. So I think that's the direction that you would go. Again, if you have an employee that you feel is not performing up to the standards of the corporation, that would also typically be a decision, that would be at least a process that would be started by someone within the administration who's actually observing the way that person performs and is kind of in a supervisory position over them.
Yeah, don't say administrator, but that's what it is, it's at will. He is in an at-will state.
Yeah.
We're in the at-will state. But it don't, go ahead, trustee Gomez.
On that, it's been an interesting discussion, and I'm glad that we're having this because, as I mentioned, I think trustee Smith and Rodriguez were on the board when we did change that one reporting requirement and took it out away from the principals and put it into the superintendent's lap. So, like trustee Smith, it started me thinking on another track. So this is an employee handbook. Where does the superintendent fall in terms of the handbook? Are they part of this handbook?
So the handbook states at the very beginning, I think it's on the first, we talked about this when we were reviewing it, I remember this. It's one of the first. So when the employee is covered by a collective bargaining agreement, the CBA will control in all aspects of employment that are covered by the CBA, including where it conflicts. All personnel matters not addressed within a CBA are governed by the terms of the handbook. So again, I haven't looked at the current superintendent contract recently to know what it says specifically about the employee handbook, but I think generally the default is if you have an employee who's on a contract, then the contract is bargained for. So the contract defines everything that is mentioned within the contract. If there's a conflict between the employee handbook and something specifically mentioned in the contract, then the contract controls. For all other things that are not mentioned by the contract, the employee handbook generally controls. So
So if it's not in the contract, then it reverts to the employee handbook?
yes, and typically, again, I'm not, off the top of my head, I'm not familiar enough with the superintendent contract to tell you conclusively, but typically, there will be some reference, when you have a contract for an executive type of position, there will be something that says, here's how this person can be hired, here's how this person is to be evaluated, here's how this person can be terminated, here's the vacation compensation, all that kind of stuff. And then there'll be a provision for all other matters, consult the employee handbook or something like that. I don't know offhand whether we have something that's specific in the superintendent's contract, but my guess would be that that's kind of the dynamic you'd be operating in.
The only reason I asked is that if we go back to 34, where, I'm sorry, 33, page 33, I'm sorry, not there, where the reporting requirement is for an arrest or whatever, there's no language in there, so the superintendent could theoretically report to themselves.
Yeah, and I don't know whether they could, and I don't know whether that's something that's specifically addressed in the contract or not, but they could. Now, it also says the superintendent shall review each reported arrest, charge, or conviction, and shall recommend appropriate action to the school board concerning the risk of members of the community. So, superintendent, I suppose, could report to themselves, himself or herself, but then would have to report to the board about the report they made on themselves. So, I mean, it takes a little bit. I mean, we might be able to have a way of stating that more clearly, but I don't know whether the place to do that would be in the superintendent contract or in the handbook. I think either one would
Just
work.
curious, thank you.
Yeah.
One more thing. Page 18, time records. And it says, time records, all non-certified, non-teacher staff employees required to clock in and out using the time post system located in every building, unless otherwise agreed upon. So, we were having problems with administration clocking in, clocking out. Didn't we discuss that?
Yeah, we did.
So what are we gonna do about that? What are we doing about that?
Hmm.
I mean, you just can't just walk in when you want to and then walk out when you want to. I mean,
So
there
there
is
is a board policy regarding that,
Yeah, we discussed it at the last board
Discussed,
policy.
yeah.
Attorney, I'm sorry, Dr.
Yeah.
Bernay.
and even though, so for example, we can, that is a board policy. This can be edited, so obviously before we make hard copies, it will be a digital copy, so it can be updated. The documents that are hard copy, which require signatures, is I've received the handbook, I'm aware of the technology stuff used, et cetera, but the actual matter of the handbook can be updated, reflect current board changes.
And then, Attorney Snow, do you want to, it's not in our packet right now, but do you want to just talk about that for a moment? The question that Trustee Smith has, because I think it's something the board's been wanting to enact, and I think Dr. Bornay is interested in that as well. And this is regarding the accountability to timekeeping.
Yes, give me just a second, because I had gotten out of the policies, or the agenda in here, and I started looking at policies to see about employee discipline. I think it might be, the timekeeping and accountability policy is on the board docs agenda to be considered. It's under 6.16. So,
Policy?
It's not like that on our hard copy, but go ahead.
yeah, so This policy is one that the board previously, I think, considered back in May. And it does state that all staff, regardless of their classification as professional or support staff or as salaried or hourly employees, are required to participate in a timekeeping and accountability program. We are amending it now to include some very specific language related to ghost employment or ghost payrolling, stating that, it is criminal activity and it does cover a situation where an employee is hired and then there's just no work assigned to them, or they're just not performing any real duties for the employer when they come to work. If they, or they're being shown as being present at work according to payroll records when they're not actually there. So we wanted to mention that specifically. I think that the idea was, from our discussion, was that the corporation will ultimately formulate a kind of an operational policy on this, how it works with the payroll system or the time clock system, or whether we need to kind of improve or upgrade that is yet to be seen. And then there was some discussion of a pilot program to where we can kind of see how this works in one building and then, kind of move on from there.
What's the policy number?
The policy number is, there's no policy number assigned because it's a new policy that we've drafted that has not been codified yet. So one of the conversations during the policy committee meeting was we need to assign it a number in both the 3,000 and the 4,000 series, so it's clear that it applies to both professional employees and support staff.
Okay, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay.
And then, too, I'm looking, you have language about employment of administrators in the 1,000 series, too. So if it's going all the way up through all levels, we might want to include it in the 1,000 series also.
Thank you.
Any more questions from the board?
And Trustee Gomez, I also, just because I was looking, I think your policy is 15, I had it up, and then I think I closed out of it. I think it's 1520 something.
Oh,
It-
1520?
Yeah, it talks about background checks and reporting of convictions and all that, and it does say, it says everybody should report them to the superintendent. So that's a conversation, we might want to amend the board policy, and then as a result of that, then, for next year, we can amend the employee handbook if you see that as a loophole.
Thanks.
If there are any other questions for the handbook, we move to item 6.13. Thank you, Dr. McDuckins. Approval of the bid for Grimmer Construction for Washington Elementary. Ms. Simmons is available to answer any questions regarding that bid.
Madam President,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken, this is an emergency bid.
So, yeah, this is.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
This has been going on for a while, so, coming up on the winter months, once the boilers are turned on and both boilers are working, when it was originally constructed, it was constructed only with two flukes going together, going out one hole, which is, as trustee said, this is an emergency situation that we have to get this fixed because it keeps choking itself out. So what this contractor here is gonna do is gonna actually, there is three items that's going out of all the borders up to their holes there in the rooftop.
This is at what school, Harrison?
No, this is Washington.
Oh, yeah, Washington.
And how long is this going to be expected to take?
I'm not for sure of the timeline. Once it's approved, this vendor pretty much moves pretty quickly on this one. The biggest part of timing is gonna be, that roof. How we're going to make sure we have our roof secured after the hole is cut in it.
This is gonna be,
That's the biggest part of this.
it's gonna be done while the kids are in school.
They can do it on the weekends or in the afternoons.
But-
With the boiler is not on right now.
And does I can't remember, excuse me, is the bidding process different in an emergency situation?
Yes. The bidding process is, I probably could have moved forward with this, with it out, giving it to the board and starting on it first. So I could have started on it already and then gave it to the board. But since the boilers are not on, I brought it to the board first, and now I'll give it to the vendor to start the actual job.
In terms of the timelines, though, for a normal bid versus an emergency bid? How does that work? I apologize, it's been a while.
Oh, no problem. So with me going out for bid with the boilers down, it's within weeks.
Okay.
We did, I think, a 2 week stint on times on that one. If it was the emergency bid, I would have took the bids in right away and then submitted out which contractor got it. So basically, we could select several companies to come in and give us bids on it, and whichever one was the feasible one, we could have just went out and started the job.
Okay.
So, Trustee Gomez, you're so,
I'm done.
okay, I just have one. On the part that, on item or number 3, it states time of completion. So I noticed that on the base bid portion of that, it says 90 days. Did you write that or did they write that?
They wrote that.
So I'm assuming that once this is approved, they're looking at probably a 90-day window of completion.
Yes, of starting it, yes.
Okay.
Completed in 90 days.
It could be completed in 90 days or sooner. As long as they have access to the boiler with no interruption of education going on at the time, they can get it
But you
completed.
said it's gonna be did over the weekend. The kids won't be in school.
If the boilers are down, we can do it when the kids are in school. It's no noise, nothing in a factor that would interrupt their instructionals. No.
Any questions from the board?
If there are no questions regarding 6.13, if there are no questions regarding 6.13, we'll move to 6.14, American Seal Coating for the high school tennis courts.
I don't have that. I don't have that one. 6.14, seal coating. I don't have that. Mm-mm. I don't have it. That one at all.
This is the tennis court?
Yes.
Tennis, pickleball, the other court also is included in this. Is it pickleball or pickball?
No,
Pickleball.
It's
Okay, pickleball, yes.
Yes. It's
This
pickleball.
this vendor was the original one that actually painted the original tennis court here in EC.
Pickleball.
Pick-
L.E.
I'm not walking down that road with you right now.
It's the plastic ball with the holes in it and the square paddles that you see on TV.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Well, Takia, when you get a chance, just give me a copy of it. I don't have it. Do you have it in your board doc? Do you have this in your board doc? No, no, no. The American Seal Coating, the contract.
Madam President, it is on our board docs, but you don't have it on.
No, I don't have it in paper, though. I know it's in your board docs.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll get that.
Any other questions though regarding Mayor Castillo?
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Thank you, Ms. Simmons.
okay.
Next is item 6.15, approval of as-needed basis contract for Mazzy Education.
Dr. Bonet, I think this was supposed to have been removed from the agenda. Sent you a text to remove this item here.
Yes, we did not remove it from the agenda in order to make sure that we are supporting the work of managing our grants. We are recommending the contract where we use Mazzy Education on an as-needed basis.
Oh, sure. Well, right now, have to be discussed, so this has to be removed until we have some discussion about this. All right.
When would that be an agenda item?
We'll let you know, Dr. Bonet, as soon as we discuss it.
Next is item 6.16, first reading for policies, board compensation, PO 0144.1, recording of IEP team meetings, PO 2461, and timekeeping and staff accountability, PO 3000.
So these are policies. What are these? I don't even have any of this. Do you have any? I don't have this one either. Okay, you said policies.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't have them. As I was looking for them.
So what's in green is what?
Was for timekeeping, accountability, I'm sorry. Timekeeping and accountability, the other one's for the right to record IEPs.
Oh, you talking to, we can have some policies on this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the first one was on recording IEPs. It's one of them. I don't know which order they're in.
Oh, so we don't have those.
Yeah, because you got to,
Right.
those are new laws.
And then, yeah,
Yeah,
the
those are new laws.
compensation
Yeah.
is for board members. I think Attorney Snow was supposed to find out more information from ISBA regarding compensation. Dr. Bornay, the third one.
The third one is timekeeping and staff accountability.
Okay.
Timekeeping and
Forgot
staff
about that.
accountability, which we did
Forgot
mention
about that.
earlier this evening.
Right.
And just as an overview, the timekeeping and staff accountability, we've already had second reading and approval. We made an addition regarding ghost
Payroll.
payrolling. The recording of IEP team meetings and case conferences is in reflection to a changing legislation, as well as the first reading for P0144.1, board compensations also in reference to changing legislation.
And that was it on the policies. Yep.
Questions from the board regarding those policies?
Well, I just need to get them, that's all. Do anybody have them? Are they already typed up, Mr. Snow?
They are 144.1 and 2461 are already, those are already active policies we're making revisions to. So those two in the board docs online agenda, they're in there with kind of the red line changes that you make when you edit them in board docs. The timekeeping and accountability policy is one that we created ourselves. It hasn't been codified in board docs yet, and so that's a Word document that just has a green highlighted section of what we added.
I believe, if I can also speak to where they may be absent, the final draft or latest revisions came after we prepared the hard copy binders for the board, which went out on Tuesday. I believe we received the edits from Mr. Snow Wednesday.
I mean, I know I'll get them. That's all, I'm just letting you know I don't have them.
There are no any other questions for 6.16 for policies. Then we will go with 6.17, approval of professional development requests.
Wait a minute now. Something is wrong. You say we're going with what now? Oh, professional development request. Right, okay.
So we do have professional development requests that were not approved at the last board meeting, in addition to new professional development requests. I do believe the board recently adopted a policy to approve all professional development. Questions regarding the professional
Yeah,
development?
do we have the policy? Did you say we adopted the policy for this?
That
was
before the policy.
Hmm?
The ones that we did not approve.
Right.
That's so, they go into effect. We did not
Mhm.
approve those.
Those ones that's
They-
already
they
in
were-
effect.
They were done before
Yeah,
the policy was done, so but we never did approve it, but we gotta approve it.
yes.
Yeah, we just, remember, yeah, so, okay, next.
Okay. Next item is 6.18, approval of personnel report. Questions regarding the personnel report?
Okay, we're gonna, anybody got any questions about this personnel report here? We have, after this meeting, we have an exec session. And we're gonna discuss, some of this on this personnel report in the exec session. That's what we're gonna do.
Well, that concludes all the new business items for August 12th.
Madam President,
Yes.
I just have one question for Dr. Bonet. We had, I believe it was Trio, on that MOU or any MOUs that we have, it's kind of a silly question, but just got to ask it. The credits that are earned by students are theirs, that they can be transferred to any other university, college. Okay.
So the students who earn any credit, even if it's with a partner university, still those credits appear on their transcript, so they don't have to go to Purdue. They can
Right.
go to IUN, et cetera, Harvard.
Okay.
Okay, well, we can adjourn the work session.
Madam President, make a motion
Yes,
to
I'm sorry.
adjourn.
Yes, you, oh.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, well, trustee Rodriguez made a motion to adjourn, and
Second.
trustee Gomez seconded. Thank you all.
Roll call.
You good?
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Madam President Gibson King?
Yes.